What is going on, my favorite skiers and snowboarders? I'm in the wonderfully wooded Whistler backcountry, and today I'm going to share you my top 12 tips to improve your tree skiing. So what's all the hype about? Why do people love tree skiing? Well, it's because it's reaction based, it's exciting, every line is different, and sometimes the snow is just perfect. If you're on a steep pitch, being in the trees kind of gives you a bit of flow, and the snow's hitting your face and it's soft and you don't know which way to go and you're getting a little scared and the trees are catching up with you and you have to stop and reset and then keep going. It's just super exciting, and skiing in the trees is so special to me and something that makes me so happy. The trees are like the caretakers of the snow. They block the sun, the wind, and they hold the snow there for you to shred. So tree skiing can often mean better skiing when the snow is worse on the sun-affected areas. And if you're tree skiing, you could ski the same run a million times and you never ski the same line. I know there's a lot of people out there who are nervous about skiing in the trees for a number... Oh, my fly is open. Well, better close the hot dog stand. I know there's lots of people out there who may be nervous about tree skiing, and that's okay. Tree skiing doesn't necessarily add an extreme element of danger. If you have the ability and you're skiing in control with a friend, it's just as safe as if you're on, you know, a groomed run. You could fall on a groomed run, clip an edge, do just as much damage. So let's jump right into it with my first tip. The first tip and the most important tip that I can give you when skiing in the trees and when skiing hard in general is to always ski with a friend. Skiing with a friend is way more fun. You can hoot and holler when you're ripping down the hill, but most importantly, if something happens to you in the trees, it's going to be harder for another person to see you and help you. Find that pal, shred with them, you know, your mother, your grandmother, your brother, your sister, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever it is, find them, ski with them, and enjoy those trees. My second tip to becoming a really good tree skier is to start on moguls. I know a lot of people out there hate moguls. Personally, I love moguls. I love ripping moguls. I find them so fun. I love when my quads just get pumping and I'm ripping down the hill and I'm jumping and hot dogging. Tree skiing is all about reaction time and being able to absorb the bumps within the trees and react quickly. Moguls are the exact same thing, except you can see all the bumps that are in front of you the entire way down the fall line. It's good for you to ski good moguls, like really good skier moguls. You know, the ones that the Olympians are skiing down, those are great to practice on. And even better, get on some crappy snowboarder moguls. When you're on the moguls, make sure to focus on a couple things. Play with speed, go faster and slower, and make sure that you keep your body facing down the fall line. And your hips, your legs, your knees, your ankles, they're doing the work, right? As you come down the hill. So you want to make sure your body's always facing downhill, especially when you're trees. If you turn your body, wait a second, you can't see the tree that's in front of you. If you can master skiing the bumps, skiing in the trees is gonna be no problem, because skiing the trees, especially when there isn't powder, is pretty much like skiing the bumps with obstacles in the way, so you better know how to ski the bumps. Tip number 3, find spaced glades. Skiing on spaced glades is super helpful because tight trees are gonna make you more nervous and make it harder for you to gain speed, but as you start gaining speed, you're going to want to focus more on your turns and where you're going to turn versus the trees themselves. So when you're skiing, you're going to ski towards what you're looking at. So if you look directly at a tree, you might ski into it. I've done it. But if you're looking elsewhere and the trees are in your peripheral, then you're going to ski through them. So you always should be looking where you're going to turn and through the trees. When you're skiing those space glades, start focusing less on the trees themselves and more on where you're going to turn. And that's where space glades are really helpful. Tip number 4, play around on some side hits and jumps. One of the best ways you can become a better skier overall and be able to ski trees really well is to become super comfortable, not necessarily with being in the air, but with absorbing shock. When you're in the trees, it's not a groomed run. Things aren't even. You need to be able to be reactive and absorb a bump here, absorb a bump there, turn around a tree here, turn around a tree there. Side hits are amazing for practicing your anticipation of bumps and the absorption of bumps. And that's exactly what you're doing in the trees like you're doing in the moguls. So if you're skiing down your regular groomers, pop off to the side. You know where all the kids are skiing through the trees? Do that, because it gives you a little taste of tree skiing, and then you can escape back out to the groomers. Number 5, don't be afraid to stop and regroup. One of the most important things to keep in mind about tree skiing is that trees weren't selectively cut most of the time in a lot of mountains. Trees are just there, especially if you're backcountry skiing or if you're going off-piste, off a run, off a marked run, off in the side. These trees are just naturally plopped in there. There's no rhyme nor reason to how those trees grew other than trying to find sunlight. So they weren't made for skiers. So the trees are going to be super weird. So it sometimes is the case where, oh, you get a great line, 3 turns, 4 turns, 5 turns, 6 turns, and oh, you got to stop. You got to stop and you have to regroup. So stopping and regrouping is totally fine, and I do it tree skiing all the time. Sometimes I just do it to catch my breath. Don't be afraid when you're ripping through the trees. Say you see a good line, you rip the line, stop. Okay, do a couple slow turns, duck through a couple trees. Okay, I see my next line. 5 more turns, stop. Okay, you know what I mean? And don't be afraid to stop and regroup if you're tired and you're learning to ski trees. Stop as much as you want, because if your legs are feeling jello, you're not going to have that control to absorb whatever's going to come your way. You know, it's not like a pro skiing video where you see them ski the perfect line over and over and over again. That's cut together. Once you get more experience and you can ski tighter trees, you can start doing wilder maneuvers through the tighter trees, you know, and then maybe you don't have to stop as much. But in the end, make sure you stop and regroup. My 6th tip for you, anticipation. So tree skiing is all about anticipation. Whether you're an expert or whether you're a beginner, you have to anticipate the turns in front of you. You always need to be anticipating your line. So when I'm skiing trees, I look 2 to 3 trees ahead, and I always know that route where I'm gonna ski through. It's no different when I'm planning a line to ski, you know, a bigger mountain line or an open bowl. I am doing some planning for my line, and you're always looking a couple turns ahead. So my body's down the fall line, and I'm anticipating what's going to happen because I'm looking and watching those trees. If you only look at the one tree that's in front of you, you're not gonna be able to initiate your next turn fast enough because you're moving on skis. So make sure you're always looking 2 to 3 turns ahead. And let your body follow. It's gonna be good. Anticipation and reactiveness is what makes tree skiing so fun. You anticipate what's gonna happen, you react to it, and sometimes you're right, and sometimes you're wrong, and you get stopped. But when you're right, you get a crazy sweet line through the trees, the snow's flying, you're ripping through the trees, it feels so good. So make sure to anticipate your turns, and it's gonna make all the difference. Tip number 7. Forget about technique. The beauty about the trees is no one can see you other than your buddy. Don't get me wrong, technique's very important in skiing, and if you have flailing arms all the time and you're turning with your body, yes, it's gonna negatively affect your skiing. But if you're just learning to ski trees, you know, it's kind of survival of the fittest in there to a certain degree. Once you make sure that you've got a good stance, your arms are out, sometimes you're gonna make a turn and it's gonna feel better to move an arm this way. Sometimes you're gonna make another turn and you need to lift a leg up. It doesn't matter. Don't worry so much about the technique. Anticipate those turns. Enjoy that tree skiing. No one's watching, you know? And then when you start getting more comfortable, you can start becoming more technique focused. Once you're comfortable skiing through trees, then focus more on the technique you're skiing. You know, we're not doing a CSIA course in the trees. We're just trying to shred for fun. Who cares about technique, right? No one can see you. No one can see you. It's like no one can see me in here. If they could, it'd be weird. My 8th tip, always wear a helmet and goggles. Some of you guys weren't blessed with curls like these that will automatically add a layer of protection to your cranium in case you hit a tree. I nailed a tree this year. I'm super thankful I had my dome and my goggles on. And even beyond that, I hit tree branches probably every day when I'm in the trees. So obviously wearing a helmet is important to protect your brain when you're skiing. If you're not wearing a helmet, I mean, your call, but I don't really understand. I personally think everyone should be wearing helmets all the time. Protect your skull, man. But even more than that, when I'm skiing trees, I'm ripping so fast, no care in the world. Sometimes branches come up and whap me across the face, whap me in the goggles, whap me in the head. Ouch. Without a helmet, or without goggles, I'd have eye injuries, my head would be injured, scratched, it would be a mess. So having a helmet and goggles are a great tool to rip through the trees with, because when you hit that odd branch, which doesn't really matter, with a helmet and goggles on, you're gonna feel way better. Pop on that brain bucket, protect your dome, and pop on those goggles. I swear by my Smith helmet and goggles. Smith goggles are awesome. Smith helmet's awesome. If you ever want one, check them out. I got my goggles in the description. Tip number 9. Don't be afraid to break a few branches. That was underwhelming. This looks like one of those beards. Anyways, If you're skiing trees aggressively and you're in that advanced tree skier phase and you want to start going faster, you're just going to hit tree branches. It happens. It's the nature of the game, especially if you want to shred hard. I always ski with my hands out, and if I see a tree branch coming, I'm going to brace either with my head or my hands. If I can get a pole up there sometimes like this, do like a cross block, like you're ski racing, I'll pop my hand up, maybe take it with the forearm. Sometimes I just take it straight off the head if I'm not going that quick. Whip it with my arm. I'm breaking branches. I'm hitting things all the time. That's the name of the game. If you want to shred hard through trees, break a couple branches. It's the name of the game. My 10th tip for you, this seems pretty self-explanatory, but always stay in control. When you're in the trees, it's easy to get excited and ski beyond your abilities when you're in the trees. If you ever feel the slightest bit like you're out of control, stop, regroup, and keep skiing. You got nothing to prove out there in the trees. And the trees aren't dangerous until you're skiing dangerously in the trees. So make sure you always stay in control, stay at a good speed in those trees that you're comfortable with and you know you have control with. When you're trying to get faster and faster in the trees, just, make it a slow process, just little baby steps here and there, and just turn up the speed a little bit here and there and always stay comfortable. You don't want to ever feel like you're skiing uncomfortably fast in the trees. Tip number 11. This is something everyone tells me to do. I do it half the time. I should do it more. Once again, I'm a bit of a hypocrite. It's best to keep your pole straps off when you're in the trees. So with your pole straps, right, you guys know them, you're wearing pole straps normally. What can happen is you're skiing, this happened to me before, your pole gets caught in a tree in a weird way, and it's gonna pull off while you're skiing like this. But if your strap is on, your arm is gonna get janked. And you could tear your rotator cuff, mess up your shoulder, you could end your ski season. It's much nicer to hike back up the hill a little bit and get your pole than it is to tear your rotator cuff. So if you're in the trees, take your straps off, hold on to them tight, and you don't have to worry about getting caught and breaking your arm and doing a whole bunch of unfortunate bodily harm that we don't want. My 12th and final tip is to be aware of tree wells. So tree wells are those indents you see kind of beneath trees. They kind of look like bowls beneath trees. If you've ever walked up to a tree well, sometimes they can be like 8-10 feet deep. Now, the real danger with tree wells is falling into a well and having more snow fall on you, or falling upside down into a well and asphyxiating. It's important to recognize tree wells, what they look like. Give tree wells a good berth. Remember not to take your skis off or your snowboard off when you're near tree wells and step right beside them, because you have less displacement of your weight and you can just drop right into it. But if you're on your skis and you're moving, you're not really going to get caught up in them. You just don't want to fall into them. So don't fall into them, and don't fall into them if you're by yourself. The best thing you can do to avoid tree well danger is to ski within earshot of a friend. And, if you hear them call for help or you don't hear them at all, be within range and go help them in case they got themselves stuck. Well, there you have it. Those are my 12 top tips for becoming a better tree skier. If you're going to take anything away from today's video, 1, ski with a buddy, and 2, just have fun out there and keep progressing. Ski those moguls, ski those trees a bit faster. Don't be afraid to make incremental improvements slowly, because the better you get at skiing, it opens up so many more opportunities and it's so much fun. I can't even explain to you how much fun that I have skiing through the trees. I mean, you can probably hear it when I'm bouncing through them, when I'm hooting and hollering. Tree skiing is my absolute favorite, and I want it to be your guys' favorite as well. So take these 12 tips. Maybe you only found one of them interesting. Maybe you found none of them interesting. Let me know in the comments if you have any tips that you'd recommend for people trying to improve their tree skiing or get better at skiing trees. Don't be afraid of the trees. Have fun in the trees. Keep practicing. Keep making small improvements. Next thing you know, you'll be shredding. Now get out there, find a friend, be safe, and ski some trees. Keep on shredding. I'll see you next time.